Hello again, this is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 95, the Love Chapter number 71, audio recording number 413, and examination table number 75. Now, we're still in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and I'm on the last word in verse 6, and then I'll start verse 7, okay? I don't think I got that last word out just right. I was trying to cram in what I could, but, I'll just cover it real quickly, I think. Okay. Let's start out reading. Let's read the verse first. Verse 6 says of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, says, "Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth." Okay. And they actually translated "ha" that time, 3588. They put "in the," but it's the definite article, the, the, or this one or that one. It's talking about those spiritual thought processes going all the way from out of this old poop, your own righteousness, and going all the way back to, toward, into, and ENSYN, in union with and relying upon God, resting upon God. The battle is the Lord's, not yours. You just agree, exist, back into the self-existing one. All that other stuff is garbage. Okay? It won't give you the increase at all. No matter if it's good, bad, ugly. It's poop. You got to get away from that. Or you just, if you're trying to manipulate or saying, I got a ride or whatever, you're just stuck in that old stinking thinking. Can't go on. And who are you arguing with? You're not arguing with me. You're arguing with God. How stupid's that? I got it right. Well, how's that working for you? Not too good. Okay. pretty stupid. You're just ignorant of God whenever you're doing that. Every one of us. All of humanity is subjected to this vanity, this hopelessness, in hope, so they come back to God's confidence in God, His truthfulness, as God's faithful to do this, present this question over and over and over and over. Be reasonable. Sit my way, my child. You either agree with God or you disagree. If you agree in hot pursuit, not just kind of iffy, wishy-washy, that you may be saved, may be delivered. No. Get back out. Vomit, yell out his mouth. Not qualified. Got to be in hot pursuit of that. All that you got. That's not emphatically agreeing. That's trying to manipulate God. That's not going to work. Okay. Now, let's see. On down there, let's see. It said, rejoiceth not in iniquity, in that old poop thinking, okay? But rejoiceth, exceedingly rejoice, being emphatic, rejoicing in the truth, okay? And that's the definite article, that in the. Most time in there, they don't even translate in the King James language. Ha, H-O, 3588. They did this time. In the is what it did. But it's the definite article, or this one, that one, this thought process. Where's God working? In your mind. Okay? And now, let's get down here to a truth. I started in that. Let me just bring it out just a little bit more, and then we'll go on. That's this word.
Strong's G 225.
Aletheia. And that's translated as truth.
I can translate into many languages.
Alexa, stop. I don't know what. Oh, hang on a minute. Jump me up. I'll try and get it. I don't know. Just comes on there sometimes. Okay, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Okay, let me get back down to it. Okay, it's Aletheia 225. Okay, in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. That's a feminine noun. It's from the number 227. Okay, and it's truth, verity, in reality, certainty, in truth, the state of being or existing true, or existing en and syn, the truth, right? God is the truth. He's the way, the truth, and life. Getting down to your en and syn, God, resting in God, relying upon God for your salvation, your deliverance. Remember, Jesus, I-E-S-O-U-S, that Jesus was translated from. I've got the numbers on that. Let me get those. I've got a few pages, but I'm not going to go that much on that. It's number 2424, Jesus, and translate that as Jesus, okay? And that was in there 975 times and 935 verses in the TR Greek lexicon of the Bible, okay? Now, in the, hold on, I got it wrote down here. I can bring it up so I can read that. Okay, in the MGNT Greek, I think that, okay. That one's for, done 917 times and 878 verses, okay? And that's another big book. And then the LXX Greek, that's the Hebrew and Aramaic Greek, the Old Testament. And it translates back to the word, it's a compound word, Yehoshua, I think is how they pronounce it. Number 3091. It's like that equivalent of Jesus in the New Testament, Jesus. But they translate sometimes Joshua in different ways in the Old Testament. It comes from two words. That one's 252 times and 228 verses. We're just getting a little quick synopsis. I'm not getting into this too heavy. I could, but I've got all the notes right here. I can pull it up there and have it pronounced some of the stuff. I spent a few hours on this, rechecking myself because I didn't quite remember exactly. But I did. It's from the number that Yehoshua 3091 in the Old Testament. That's equivalent to Jesus, which means Yahweh is salvation. Not Jehovah or Yehovah. Remember, that's what they put in there. But it's actually, you take out the vowels, it's Yahweh, YHWH, okay? It's speaking of Father God. Okay, and in the spirit, it's neither male or female, it's both. It's one, it's unity. And God's bringing your thought processes back into unity, SYN, and EN, relying upon God for your salvation. For everything, right? Resting in God. EN and SYN, okay? Now, this Yehoshua, proper masculine noun, comes from 3068 and 3467, okay? And it means the same thing. Jehovah or Yehovah, Yahweh. Go back even farther. Without the delay, no putting it out nowhere else, just right now. You make your decision right in the eye of that storm. Right when God's dealing with you. It's in God's precise, correct timing. God's bringing you to a boil inside or chopping out that wood. Shall we karate chop it out? Do you agree with me, or are you going back, or do you got to go through more of this pressure stuff? Double it. Do I got to double it? In short, basically, that's what's happening. You're going 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, either falling into God, all the way in, heading back in the thought process. This one, this ball thinking, this ball of the thought process in your mind. You know, a whole myriad, a whole innumerable number of those in there. He's transforming them. I spent a few videos and stuff telling you about that. Go back and look at it, study it, meditate on it, think about it, blah, 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 blah. You got to work out your own salvation with not fear and trembling, but with reverence, honor, respect, understanding God is the great hero, not a monster. Okay? For yourself. Don't let no one tell you God is bad. If you do, you're just big stuck in the mud. You're going down in that crap. Okay? Now. Whew. Get my breath here. Okay. Now this 3091 Yehoshua in the Old Testament, equivalent for Jesus in the New Testament, is Jehovah's salvation, his deliverance from this stuff, just like Jesus in the IESOUS in the New Testament, okay? And it's translated in the King James Version many times as Joshua, okay? Now, 3068 is that Jehovah, or it's actually going beyond that, back. It's YHWH. There is no delay. When God speaks, even E.F. Hutton has to listen. Shh, put a muzzle on it. Right? Remember that old silly commercial? That's from 1961. Remember that? Hi-ya! He's cutting out that old stinking thinking and bringing the new to life. He's in the midst, in the middle of this stuff. He's bringing you back in and SYN, rebirthing you back in himself, in his right-mindedness, in the truth. He's bringing you from this state of being in just faith, expectation, wishing, washing, all this stuff, all the way back to SYN, to the truth of God. He's bringing this hope all the way through the same thing to confidence in God. God's faithful to do it. Bring down this conditional love through the eye of the needle, right back into, all the way back in SYN. God's love is your exceedingly great reward. Your exceeding great reward. Like Genesis 15:1, he told Abram that, I am your exceeding great reward, that self-existing one. He's bringing you as you exist, boom, 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 through these like 3 phases, Passover, Pentecost, tabernacle experiences, not just 3 times, but as many times as it takes. God's taking each one of these thought processes through that whole phase. Spiritual experiences, bringing that relationship back all the way to life. He's rebirthing it. Bringing it from a brephos to an epios, to padion, technon, and weos, and back in and SYN, the Father, the pater. It's saying it over and over and over in many different ways. Now this 3068 says Jehovah, and comes from that's the supreme divinity, the self-existing one, the eternal one. Okay, in short, there's a whole lot more here. I'm just kind of paraphrasing it just a little bit here. Okay, in 1961, he's chopping it out and all that stuff. Okay. And that goes on down. Then it tells you to compare 1933. You'll see what that was. Yeah, right down here. Hava, H-A-V-A. It's a verb. It's compared 183 and 1961. 1961 is that Haya. Right, chopping it out and bringing that back into, transforming it, bringing it back from out of all the way through into and SYN himself. Okay, that's Haya. Okay, and it's not just consuming it, then it's refining it, right? Chopping it out and then melting it out and skimming it off. Okay, as you agree. Okay, always. Now, this 1933 down at a root, another root here is saying to be in the sense of existence. What does a body do when it is born. It breathes. And that 1933, it can mean primarily to breathe or to exist when you're coming into existence. Just like when you're being birthed and it's natural. Whether it is smack a little baby on the butt. It's breathing, okay? You breathe, okay? This is in short, okay? And then 183, the other one they could have you compare it to is AVAH. Ava, I think so to pronounce it. It's a verb, primary root. It's Strong's is to wish for. It's to desire, to crave, food and drink, spiritual food and drink. As you mature, you're going from like taking this baby breast milk or a pablum or something to like the formula milk to get a little bit stronger. You don't start out feeding that baby meat and potatoes and steak right from the beginning. No, it has to mature through the ages. Even a small child, a lot of times they don't like stuff like cooked cabbage and broccoli and or stuff that you, as an adult, if you try that stuff, a lot of you're going, man, I was missing out. This is great stuff. Wow. And then it's like your favorite food. Not always, but it happens a lot. A lot of stuff I didn't like, cooked cabbage and stuff like that when I was real little. Now, man, I'm like, God, put some more of that stuff in there. Just try it and see. Okay? Kind of like taste and see that the Lord is good. All this harsh stuff, when you're a tiny baby, it's like, why is this always happening to me? No good deed goes without punishment. Cry, cry, cry. Still a baby, aren't you? If you're doing that. Or a small child, as an adult, you're kind of like, what's going on here? Maybe you start learning that this stuff's not bad for me. It's caused me to stop what I'm doing and figure out, hey, this pain or this whatever is telling me something's wrong. I need to get this out. Not mess with just a symptom. Give me a lollipop and make this thing better. No. Deal with the problem. And that problem, that disease, is your own carnal stinking thinking, your own right-mindedness. Ooh, yuck, get that stuff out. Spit that strong lizard, that beast nature. Spit it out when God gives you the opportunity to. When God brings that question to you in the eye of those storms, that storm is not to tear you up and beat you down. No, it's making it so you can get rid of this stuff. So you can agree into God. He's putting this question before you. Be reasonable, my child. Sit my way. Yes, sir, Daddy. It's trying to chop this stuff out. Yeah, get it, Daddy. Go, get it. Or melt this stuff out. Yeah, skim that off. I don't want that thing I was thinking in before. That was terrible. I'll eat your cabbage. I'll try whatever you got. Your love beyond words is awesome. You're not a monster. You're not about to beat me up. Like that little Angelica on that Rugrats thing telling me, who's that lawnmower out there? It's a big bad monster. Look at the teeth, man. It's just chomping up. Oh, man, it's going to eat you up. Telling the other little babies that. Scare them from doing that. Instead of telling them really what it's doing. That Angelica didn't know. Only thought she did. It's a tool. To keep the grass cut and everything. Parents taking care of kids. God's taking care of us. He's like brooding over us. How often he'd love to brood over, as a mama hen does over baby chicks to protect them. Come back all the way in, and that's why in God. In every thought process. And he's protecting you. He's holding it better, stronger than a strong nuclear force holds the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. More securely than that. Woohoo! Okay. Wow, there's a lot here. I'm skipping over a whole lot here. Did I cover that? Ava? Yeah, that food, drink. I got a whole page of notes on that if you want more of it, okay? I've spent 2 or 3 hours on this in addition to what I did before. Okay, and the other word that's compounded with is the number 3467. It's Y-A-S-H-A, Yasha, right? What was this? What was that one? Yehovah, Yehoshua, I think is how they pronounce it. It's 2 words put together. Okay, and this is the second part of that. Number 3467, Yasha, it's a verb, a primitive root. Online biblical means to save, that's to deliver. Be saved, deliver you from this thinking. All right? It means be delivered. In the Strong's, it means to be open. Free, to be safe, to free. It's freeing you from that old stinking thinking. It's to succor. It's succor, S-U-C-C-O-R, means to help, to relieve, aid you, to assist, to help or relieve. Had to read my writing. It's pretty sloppy there in a little bit there. Okay? Same thing in Genesis 15:1. God told Abram, I am, the self-existing one right there. I am your exceeding great reward. Just believe. Enter. Exist. Agree with God in these eyes of the storm over and over and over. And he's bringing different thought processes back in, and that's why in him over and over and over, each one, repeatedly. You're increasing from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 5, 2, 256, 512, 1024, blah, 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 blah. But it's a trucking. Okay? Now, let's get back here. I'm going to have to do a whole thing just for this last little word here, but that's all right. Now that, Aletheia, is how you pronounce it? Back in
Strong's G 225.
Aletheia. 225, that's that one for truth. They translated it as truth, okay? It's the last part of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 6, okay? And it's from 227, okay? And remember, that word means truth, verity, in reality, certainly in truth, the state of being true or existing in truth, in God, the ascendance, or in accordance of fact or reality, okay? Okay, and that's from the number 227. Let's get that right here. It's A-L-E-T-H-E-S, okay?
Strong's G 227. Aletheis.
Aletheis. It's an adjective, and that's from 2 words, that G1 negative. G1's alpha. The negative of alpha is alpha dog, your beast nature. Ew, yuck! Shut up, you dog! Right? That one in combination with 2990. Okay? Okay? This you get rid of those, and it allows you to be able to speak with the Spirit. Understand, to communicate with God. That beast nature can't. It speaks dog, chicken, parakeet messed all up, sneaky snake, hee-haw and donkey, but it doesn't speak the correct language of God. It doesn't communicate with God. It's a big gap. It doesn't talk intelligibly. It's unintelligible. It's that useless babbling bullcrap. all this stuff. Well, that's not talking, we'll just talk right. Right? That's talking in the other tongues, talking in the spirit, not talking in all this hee-haw beast nature. Okay? Now, this, speak the truth. Okay, that's one of the ways to translate that. A-L-E-T-H-E-S, okay? And it comes from these two words. The alpha dog, okay? G1 negative, the alpha, the negative of alpha, okay? And 2990. Okay? 2990 is this word.
Strong's G 2990.
Lantano. It's a verb. It's a prolonged form of a primitive verb which is used only as an alternative in certain tenses, okay? Now, let me see here. To be hidden from one. That's what it says in the Thayers, and it's also saying that in the online biblical usage, okay? And what's hidden from it? It's that old carnal nature is hiding, trying to keep it in the dark, the truth of God. That pixels of light within you, within those balls. Unfortunately, God's willing to chop it out and melt that stuff out and skim it off. You got to agree, exist. Back all the way from out of that poop thinking, that darkness, that ignorance of God's ways, and being enlightened. All the way through the eye of the needle, back in the next way in God. Okay? Now, in the, means to lie hid, the light of God's lying hid, that seed of God, the truth of God, okay? And it's been unwittingly, it's elliptically encircling. God's chopping out. As he, excuse me. Okay, I'll read this right here I got. Okay. One's own alpha dog, that darkness, that ignorance of God's way, hides or conceals the alpha, that's God, not the alpha dog. The alpha dog is trying to conceal, trying to be your God and trying to take the place of God and trying to conceal God, that seed of Christ, within one's mind, within every thought process. Trying to tell it, that's insignificant. Don't listen to that. Listen to me. I got the last name. Alpha dog. Don't trust that alpha. Where is he? I don't know. And it's covering it with this dark energy, dark matter stuff. Trying to separate it and put a big cloud or cloak on it so you can't see. But what that veil was rent from top to bottom when Jesus died on the cross. Now God's chop that out, asking you over and over and over in these fire trials, these storms of life, these thalipsis, pressures and tribulations and stuff. He's bringing you to the point to where all of a sudden it gets still in your mind, in that eye of the storm. Brings you to that point. And then he's asking you, shall we try to chop this board? This humanistic thinking that he's dealing with right here. This one little area of this one little thought process. Hiya! Yes, sir, Daddy, yes, sir! Emphatically. In hot pursuit. When it gets down in there and it's melting out that stuff, it's really, really hard to get that like metal stuff inside. And he's melting it out. Raising the temperature to where that impurity melts to the top. Shall we skim off this old nasty stuff out of your mind that you was thinking? Yes, sir, Daddy, yes, sir! Don't turn around and say, well, there might be something good in there. Let me look. Pillar of salt. Just like Lot's wife. Can't go on. You hit a red light. Okay? One's own alpha dog, darkness hides, conceals the seed of Christ within one's mind, trying desperately to keep the truth of God unwittingly hidden or concealed from a person. So I don't know which way's up. Which way did it go? What's going on here, man? What? Cock-a-doodle-doo. All this stuff. Not talking intelligible in the spirit, are you? Not like the prayers of a righteous man avails much. Because that is when you're agreeing. Agree. Exist. That is availing much. That's producing miracles. It's bringing you out of this old thing. It's more powerful than you are in the natural, but it's not more powerful than God. That's the miracle. And it's going over and over and over. It's God's baptismo. The Holy Spirit is baptizing you in the Spirit. Changing that cucumber thinking all the way through that bitter stuff, bitter sour, that storms, and bringing you up as a pickle, as you agree. Now, let's go ahead and get to verse 7. I'm just going to start on it. I'll probably just read it here first. Okay, it says, beareth all things. It's speaking about this truth of God. It bears all things, and believes all things. It hopeth all things, endures all things. Okay, I'm going to have to pick that up next time. Start right there. It took a little longer than I thought on the other, but then I still yet kind of just paraphrased, covered some other notes that I was just going to, where I went back and checked myself a little bit. Okay, so this was Spiritual Toolbox number 95. I'll continue later in 13:7 of 1 Corinthians. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Know that you are supremely blessed in God.